Hey, it's Jesus Castillo here, and in this video we're going to be working on this. So this is this text written in this matrix style. So the words come down, so you can see Ruby here, right? Is the so how do you do this? How can you take a string like this, just a regular string, it can be any string that you want, and print it like this? Okay, so that's what you will learn in this video, step by step, so you know how to do it yourself. First thing we need to understand is that this string is one thing, is one whole, right? For Ruby, it can't see individual words. So you can see that this one word, this another word, this another word, right? You can see that. But for Ruby or for any programming language, the whole string is one thing. It doesn't recognize words, right? So because we need the words to be able to print them differently, the individual words, we need to break down the string into pieces. How can you do that? Well, there are different methods, different ways to do this. One is you could use a regular expression with a method like scan, right? But for the specific case, we can use split. So split is good when the words or whatever you want to separate in the string it has the same thing separating the words. So spaces are separating the words, right? Because of that, we can use a split. So I'm going to save my string as a variable so we can work with it. And we just talk about breaking down the string into words. This is very simple. You just call split on your string, and what we get as a result is an array of strings, right? You can tell it's an array because it starts with square brackets, ends with square brackets, and you can also do class, and this lets you know that this is indeed an array. Every element of the array is one of our words. So a split by default breaks down a string by spaces. So you don't have to do this, right? I see some people doing this, but that's not necessary, right? Why? Because this is the default. So you can just leave this out, and the less code, extra code that you have, the better. Unnecessary code, if you can take it out, the better code you will have, right? What's the next step? Now we have the words. How do we go from this list of words to this? Well, I know that there is something called the transpose method. Right? What does this do? Well, it takes a two-dimensional array, a matrix, something called a matrix, right? Yes, it's called that. And that's a two-dimensional or multi-dimensional array, and it takes every first of the characters and makes it into a column. So that's exactly what we want, right? We want to take the characters of the word and make them into a column like this. But before we can do that, we need to do some transformations, some changes. Because if I just do this to our current version of this array, it won't work. As you can see here, transpose. So that's not gonna work because we need a two-dimensional array. We need a matrix. So let's create a matrix. How can we do that? Well, let's break down every string into individual characters. So we just break down the string into words. Now let's break down the words into characters, right? So because every word is made of characters, so we have R, U, B, Y, right? How do you do that? Again, it's a method. That's why it's very important that you learn as many Ruby methods as you can, especially string methods, right? And array methods. So if we have the word Ruby, we can take it and then we can take the characters with the chars or chars method, right? And we get an array of characters. Now we can apply this on all of our words in one pass, like this. Ta-da! Okay, so you will notice that now we have an array of arrays or two-dimensional arrays, and you can tell because there are two opening square parentheses and two closing square parentheses. So that makes it a two-dimensional array. So no, is it a matrix yet? It isn't. As you can see, if I use transpose, now we can use it. So we no longer get this error, but we get a different error, which says element size differs or changes. 2 should be 4. What does this mean? Well, I know that this means that a matrix has rows. It has rows and columns. So a matrix is just a table where it has a very specific characteristic. And that characteristic is that every row, so every row will be this for us, right? Every element in this two-dimensional array, every row must have the same size. Every row must have the same size. But that's not the case here, right? Because Ruby is 4 characters, so size 4. Is 2 characters, so size 2. So that's already different sizes. How can you fix this? Well, do you have any ideas? Well, yeah, we can add some padding, right? So if you have, for example, the word is, we want this to be 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever size, we can add empty space, and that's padding if we make it longer without changing the string. So that's what I mean by padding. Again, here is another string method. That is called ljust. And with this method, it takes one argument, right? And the argument is the size. And it does exactly this. I done this by hand by just typing, pressing my spacebar, but you don't have to do that. Of course, you can use this method, ljust, right? Which means let justify. And this number is what's the total size that you want. Now, again, how do we apply this for every one of these words, list of characters, right? Well, we can use the same logic we use here. So let's go try that. We can try, let's map W for word. So I'm opening a block here so we can work on every individual word. I'm going to apply what you just learned about here with our left justify method. What should the size be? Well, the size should be the longest word. So the longest word is 8 characters. So let's use 8. And that should work, right? That doesn't work. Why? Well, notice that we get the same error. The problem is we are trying to apply this after the transpose, right? So we need to do this before. In fact, we want to do it before the characters. The reason for that is because at this point we have the whole word. So you need to kind of keep track of where you at. When you're using multiple methods like this, you need to know, okay, at this point right here, I have one thing. But after this happens, this like a processing machine. After every step, what we have changes. So you need to know, okay, after here, I have something else. Here, I have something else. Here, I have something else, right? It changes. So right here, we have this. I want to work with this to pad these strings, right? And the reason is that the left justify method works on strings, not on arrays. So here, highlighted is an array, here is a string, it's different. And we want to pad or justify the string, not the array in this case. Okay, so that's the explanation of why I'm moving this. Oh, and I just saw a syntax error. Can you see it? Right there. Remember that whenever you open a parenthesis or quotation mark or anything like that, you need to have the corresponding closing parenthesis or closing quotation mark. Otherwise, you get a syntax error. So here's where we're at right now. Notice that the transpose works. That's good. So now we have this. You can see we have our columns. So what happens if we print this right now? Whoa! What's this all about? That doesn't look like this. Doesn't look very nice, right? Why is this? Why is it print like this and not like we want with this compact matrix-like column style, right? Well, the thing is, we need one more step. Okay, so what would that step be? We need to join our words or characters. So let's do that like this. W join. Okay, so that produces this. And now if we print this, ta-da, we got our working solution, right? So that's what the convert method does that I showed you in the beginning. It's basically this code right here. Okay, so now we have this matrix style printing. Just one last thing that you will notice is this number 8. This is what we call a hard-coded value, right? So it won't work when we change the string. If I use a different string, then if it has a word longer than 8 characters, we won't get the expected result, right? So we can change this and dynamically calculate this number. So let's do that. I'm going to call it longest word. To find the longest word, we can go over the original list of words, which is this, and then we can max by the length of the word. So that gives us the language because that's the longest word. And then we can ask for the size of that. And there it goes, 8. So now the last thing we can do is substitute. And there we go. Now with this will work for any string. So play around with this and have some fun, because it's not everything has to be super serious programming or learning only for work or something like that. You also have to have some fun, play around. That's also how you learn, right? Playing around with different code, changing the code, see how it works, things like that. Trying to improve code on once it's working. So that's it. That's how you do this matrix style column printing. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like button for me so I know that you like it. And you also can keep learning more Ruby by watching more videos like this in this channel. There are hundreds, literally more than 200 free Ruby videos on this channel that you can watch right now. And I think it's a great investment of your time. Also, you might want to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, so you can receive more videos like this and don't miss out more videos. And finally, visit my website, rubyguides.com. rubyguides.com. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next video.